I'm Nicole, and today I wanted to talk to you about books I recommend to read during quarantine / books I have read in quarantine. And let's get started. First up, I have the Harry Potter books. I'm currently on book 3. I gave the first book 5 out of 5 stars, the second book 5 out of 5 stars, and this one I'm currently reading, and I have that little bit left to read currently as I'm filming this. And I'm actually reading this one on audiobook, and I've read the first 2 on audiobook. I don't actually own all the books, fortunately. The great thing about reading these right now is that they actually have magic in them, and I'm sure everybody knows what Harry Potter is about, so I won't go into details about that. But also, each one of these books contain Christmas in it, and Christmas makes me super happy. Every year I love Christmas, and I've also been watching a few Christmas movies right now. No, yes, I know it's April, but it makes me really happy during this quarantine, and it just brings me lots of joy. Next, I want to talk about Conceal, Don't Feel, and this one's by Jen Kalinina, and it's a twisted tale about Anna and Elsa from Frozen, and it's about what if they never met each other. Now, these are actually part of a whole Twisted Tales series. So I believe there's an Aladdin one, there's a Little Mermaid one as well. I do want to read those, but they're perfect time to read all of those right now because Disney retellings make me really happy. I've read also Cinder before and the Lunar Chronicles, so this is like the only other one I know of that's like a Disney retelling, but it's really good. And I've also been watching lots of Disney movies right now and doing lots of Disney sing-alongs because that makes me so happy. And I don't think so much about what's been going on when I've been listening to Disney songs. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars because yes, they did really stay true to like the actual movie. There's lots of movie quotes in it and it was really fun to read. But like the story was like overly complicated for me, just didn't really make sense. So, but I still definitely recommend reading this one for fun. And after you read the book, you can go ahead and read and watch the movie, and it's a lot of fun. Alright, so if you don't want to read like a whole bunch of books in a series right now and you're kind of looking for just standalones, I recommend Amy Spalding's books. I've read 2 of hers. The first one I'm going to talk about is We Used to Be Friends. It is an LGBT kind of story, and it takes place with 2 different points of view of 2 friends, and you can tell by the title what ends up happening in the book, but I really did enjoy the story, and it has become one of my favorites of all time. And what's great about standalones is if you say you're reading a series and you don't remember the last book, you have to go back and read the last book, then it becomes a challenge to remember what's happening in the story and the whole series. Not that I don't recommend reading series. Standalones are great because they actually give me a lot more feels, I believe, and you can see Fault in Our Stars right there. And they're some of my favorites of all time kind of books. I gave We Used to Be Friends 5 out of 5 stars. It's amazing. Definitely go and read it. Both of the girls in these stories have totally different points of view. One of the girls is a lot more sportsy, and the other girl's a little more girly, and it's really interesting to see their points of view and what's going on with them in the story. So her other book is called Summer of Jodi Perez, and it's by Amy Spalding. I gave this book 4.7 stars, and it's funny I read this one after because We Used to Be Friends is it came out this year. This one came out in 2016, I believe, and this is another LGBT kind of story, so just be forewarned, that's what it's about, and it's really good. This girl is a gay girl. She's got pink hair, she's got really good fashion, and it takes place during the summer, which I love. Summer as well is my favorite season, so that's why I recommend this to you as well during this time. And summer just makes you happy. It's like So their sun is shining and good feelings all around. And so I definitely recommend reading this book, because what happens in this story is about her summer, and then she also has a friend named Jax, where they try a whole bunch of different kind of burgers and see which one's the best one. It's a pretty good story. I did enjoy it quite a lot, and I really just want a sequel, but it's a standalone, so I'm not gonna get that. But it would be really nice if there was a sequel to this story. Alright, and the last one that I read during quarantine and I recommend for you is Cassandra Clare's books. I read this one during quarantine, and yes, it's a long one. It's over 500 pages. I believe it has like 629-ish pages in this book, and I give it 5 out of 5 stars because I love Cassandra Clare's books. The great thing about reading them right now is if you're reading other kind of stories, go back and read this one, and it will keep you out of a reading slump. It really helped me to not stay in a reading slump, because when I was reading some of the other books I mentioned in this list, I did feel like I was going into a little bit of a slump, and so I picked up this one again, and I was immediately brought back out of the slump. So that was awesome. I do not want to get caught into a reading slump right now when I have so much time to read right now. But this one is about Simon Lewis, and it takes place after the events of the Mortal Instruments series, the City of Heavenly Fire, where so much stuff goes down. And I can't really tell you more than that without spoiling the entire end of the series. But basically, he goes to the Shadowhunter Academy, and we see his tales going there. There is a lot of Easter eggs in this. It does mention the Infernal Devices series, which, oh, my heart, that is my favorite. And I think it was called the Whitechapel Church Chapel story in this one. That one was my favorite one out of all of these, because of what happens and the references it makes. It also has Magnus in it, and so it has Magnus, Tessa Green, Jace Herondale makes an appearance, and there's more Clary and Isabel as well. So I can't say any more than that without spoiling. But if you have not read Cassandra Clare's books, what are you doing? Go read them. They are amazing. There is a bunch of videos out there that tell you how to start reading into these series. Luckily, I started reading them when they first came out. So read them by release date. That's what I would recommend. There's different ways you can read the series, and Cassandra Clare has on her site how you can read these series. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Happy reading.